All right, so the Explorer with field parameters is exploring a very important and powerful concept inside of Power BI, which is field parameters. So you can see a little button here called sorting grouping, and it basically controls which additional elements we can have in our matrix. So let's look real quick in our matrix. Here we see the field parameter, which are those elements we can add or remove. And here we see the family name, the family type name, and the Revit ID. So these will always be there. We cannot remove them, but these we actually have access to controlling them. So for example, if I click model here, all of a sudden part of my hierarchy is model, category, family, type, Revit ID. So here, when I go all the way up in my drilling, I see I can select per model. And then when I go down, I'm at the category because it's right there. And then it goes to family, family type, and Revit ID. So, perhaps if I care about work sets and category tagged and even merged elevation, I can add these up and now they'll be part of my hierarchy. So this is an extremely powerful aspect that lets you select how you want to work. And probably when you were watching my other videos about the Explorer and the Explorer with the descendants, you were like, yeah, that's great, but I don't care about the work set. I'm going to hide the rooms and the groups, so I don't care about the category tags. And this gives you that flexibility. So let's look at the pre-existing field parameters. Now, I usually give them quite explicit long names. Let's do the exercise here of changing the field parameters. So instead of using this one that has the work sets and the level categories, we can use perhaps one that doesn't even include the category tags and is a bit simpler. So all we need to do is in this slicer, remove this tag and add this new column from the field parameters. And then in this matrix, we're going to remove this entry of data and then drag the new field parameter here. So now when we look at the list, it's a new list and it doesn't include certain things like the category tag as it did earlier, and it still has the proper effect that we're looking for in terms of customizing the report. Okay, let's do an exercise real quick. What I want to show you is how can you create your own field parameter if you don't care about the ones that are there or you want to introduce some new columns. So first thing we're going to do is go to the modeling tab here and click new parameter fields. And in here, I'm going to copy my name, UI field parameter, and let's do a very simple one with just models and work sets. So I'm going to get the data from the element table reference data, and here I've got my BIM document name, and I've also got my work set name. So I could have gone in the work set in the BIM document table, but this kind of just has 90% of the information I care about in one place, and I'm not going to add the slider to this page. Okay, so we see the new parameter here and we can click on it and notice how it's basically just a bunch of code, pretty simple code. It says, yeah, that's the first thing. It's named BIM document file name and it gets the information from the element table BIM document file name and it's the first in the order, therefore it's called 0. Now, what we're gonna do is change the name here simply to model and then work set simply to work set. So that means when we do the drop down, it's not going to show the big technical name. It's going to show something much friendlier. So here we just do what we did earlier. We get rid of the slicer's data and we switch it to our new field parameter. And we're going to do the exact same thing in our matrix. We select the matrix, get rid of the old field parameter, add the new shorter field parameter. And notice I could actually put this in a different order where the family always is on top, or maybe these are field parameters are at the end of the list, but I'm going to put it at the top here. And now we see models, and if I unselect model, we go right to the work sets, and if I select it again, we're back to the models. So model, work set, family type, Revit ID. And conversely, if I wanted to add a permanent element, I could drag the category name in here, for example. So now we see the category name. So these are your kind of permanent residents and your field parameters are your temporary residents. Now, one last note about the field parameters is that when you don't select any field parameters, it's kind of the equivalent of selecting every field parameter. So what I recommend is usually to have one field parameter in there that's always going to be on. And for me, that's the category. So that means these I may not want all the time, but I'm always going to want to have the category in there. So that prevents the user from kind of deselecting them where they all come back all of a sudden. And that's not something that anybody wants. So that's my pro tip. Try to keep category at the bottom of your list. That way you won't get into the no selection is every selection problem. And in here you can add things like levels, like any custom parameter that you add to the report. And so the way that you handle the matrix and let people navigate the matrix and slice and dice using the matrix and give them a lot of flexibility is going to be one of your data superpowers. So use it wisely and have fun with it. Cheers.